Attention gardeners, and all of those who find gardens interesting. I have a book for you to read. I think you will like it. Or optimistically, I hope you will like it. Or in English professor mode, you better freaking like it. But please note, I deliver this recommendation with a warning. This book, you better like, may not be exactly what you expect. We all know that gardens can be beautiful, peaceful places. But I think this book teaches us something about the darker side of all this green business. Because trust me on this, there was a whole lot of horticultural haunting in a dense thicket of living and dying to negotiate in the underbrush of Christy Ann Conlin's intricate but masterfully crafted new novel, The Memento. To push it just a bit further, and why not, I think the book itself is a carefully cultivated organic whole. When you read it, especially if you wander through it while keeping your wits about you and paying attention to all the details, you start to sense that this whole text operates like one of those amazing meldings of nature and culture that we can only experience when we stroll through the finest, most intricate gardens. Although you are experiencing it all at once, and your senses are almost overwhelmed by all the different interactions that produce the effect of the completed whole, you can never shake this sense that this thing, this total and surrounding space, has actually been built out of countless careful choices and an almost infinite number of delicate decisions in small but precise and crazily controlled actions. Patient pruning and crafting and replanting, a snip here and a cut there. You can fertilize that, yes, but don't put too much nitrogen in the mix. Just a drop of water there, but drench that thing, just the right amount of light there, the right amount of shade there, and whatever you do, do not let that interact with that. As a reader, I found this total immersion to be a kind of mesmerizing experience, and since I still only have, a cheap advanced copy, I spent tons of time underlining and circling all my favorite parts. The source material is pretty diverse. I swear to you, I thought I saw the Brontes, and Horace Walpole, and Anne Radcliffe, and a whole Gothic all-star team lurking in the shadows and peering around the corners and wandering among the great empty houses and the windswept cliffs. But also, I swear to you that out of the corner of my eye, I also caught a glimpse of a maniacal Flannery O'Connor in her horn-rimmed spectacles chasing her peahens through the backyard. And I thought I heard Edgar Allan Poe or Nathaniel Hawthorne moaning in their New England accents through the floorboards. And also, I'm not sure about this, but that old man in the hat wandering through the orchard, he looked a lot to me like William Faulkner, and I heard him mumbling something about family trees and generational tensions and the dirty business of telling the true story of sex. Scholarly Ernest Buckler showed up, interjecting from time to time with a precise footnote on the flora and the fauna of the mountain and the valley, as well as his own specialized knowledge of the unique brand of social ostracization that Nova Scotians have perfected in our own perfect way. I'm glad that Christy Ann has also invited the ancient Greeks to attend this garden party, and I'm happy that they are more than just pale statuary of Homer and Euripides. There are mazes in this book, and plenty of different threads to follow, and a couple different kinds of Delphic oracles blessed with second sight. These, it strikes me, are just a few of Christy Ann's friends, just a few of her selected strategic combinations, and I'm happy that she has brought them all together in such a unique mingling. The most powerful, the most tried and true, the most fundamental narrative elements of the whole history of world literature are in this book. And if you like suspense and mystery, if you obsessively need to know what happens next, if you enjoy the feeling you get of being held in the masterful grip of a storyteller who really knows what she is doing, then you have no other choice. You just have to sit in your chair and keep reading this book. The action in this novel takes place mostly in and around a grand mansion called, fittingly, petals end. And this big house is surrounded by a vast garden, and it too has an evocative name, Evermore. There is a real labyrinth in the yard, and a metaphorical one everywhere else, and there are fountains and ponds for wishing and for wondering. There are birds thickening the sky, some of them gentle and peaceful, others vicious and deadly, and it seems that all of them are carrying messages. A 12-year-old girl, her name is Fancy, is moving through her own profound process of natural and supernatural transformation, and all around her, as we move through the spring and the summer, the world is reordering itself. Men and women, mothers and daughters, the rich and the poor, the old and the young, they are all mixed up in each other's existences. In their cross-pollination, their historical and their actual graftings produce unexpected results that nobody could foresee or control. There are deep reflections in this book about the imagination, about the power of creativity. There's a character actually called Art, and about the connections we must forge and break and remake with those with whom we are most intimately connected. What really happened to the poor lost child, John Lee? Christy Ann will keep you guessing all the way to the end. This boy's life and his death are another one of those cyclical mysteries with many different possible significances that we can't fully see or appreciate. The petals end, that final dropping, the last gasp of the plant's current version of its life. It is caught up in the evermore circle of narrative regeneration and hybridization. Like all good stories, like all good gardens, the Memento draws from an impressive array of heirloom seeds. But out of all these well-known source materials, it cultivates its own new life, and it produces something you have never seen before. Congratulations, Christy Ann, on this achievement. It is a mighty pile of work, and I'd like to invite you up here to share it with us. Please welcome Christy Ann Conlin.